Well, hello there, Magic Monsters. Welcome to the stream. So, I'm loading up Unity right now. I started a little bit early. Is that okay? Is that messed up of me to say 10 minutes and then start in 5 minutes? I was just ready. Well, I mean, not completely ready. I hadn't loaded up Unity yet. But here we are. We're going to be talking about game modules for today because it's 60% off right now. I am prepping for GDC for the day job, and it's been a busy week because of that. Lots of cool things happening for GDC this year. This is the most exciting year for GDC at my day job, in my opinion. I will be there, but in the preparation for that, I completely forgot that Game Modules 4 was on Flash Deal yesterday and today. It's 60% off right now. An amazing price. Just $32 for this amazing tool. As Silverkin said 4 months ago, as a programmer, I'll never stress enough how useful frameworks are. Solid, easy to work with, and always nice to have a base to start with. And I agree with that. And this is the package that I created because I couldn't find one that I wanted to use. So here it is. And what are we doing today? Well, there's Game Modules 4 is now on Flash Deal, so there's some extra people in the Discord. And there's a couple questions here, and then there's discussions here, and I wanted to dig into this. This wonderful user who's been using it for a little while has been very helpful with asking questions. I always love questions because they find new ways to improve the package or new ways to just explain how to use it. Because there are myriad ways of using Game Modules 4. It's very flexible, meaning you can do a lot more with it than the surface might make it appear. And so this one came in today from another user, and it piqued my interest because it says there are -1 objects, and that's, of course, not right. And so I wanted to dig into this. I'm not sure why it would say -1. I have a feeling I won't be able to replicate it. But we can look into the code and see why it might be possible even for this to be -1. So that's what we're going to start with. The -1 objects with this unique ID. I should probably print out the unique ID here. That would be helpful. It's not good. If you recently created a copied an object, that's probably why. And that's really the only reason why it should ever really happen. Because if you copy an object, they're both going to have the same UID. But you need to create a new one. I should add another parentheses. I'm missing parentheses here. But they all have unique IDs. And that's that. So the details are this message always shows up even after I click create new UID. So that's strange. So let's dig into that. We're going to do that first. So this is going to be... He's looking at the lookup tables, but I think this code's kind of agnostic. But let's look at the lookup tables, try to replicate as much as we can. So here we are with the lookup tables. In fact, let me just I'm going to download this image. Open in browser, maybe. We'll open in browser. I'm going to keep it up kind of to the side here so I can kind of see it and remind myself what exactly it is that it's saying without having to just click back and forth. So we're at the lookup tables. You know what? He looks to be on an actual lookup table in the inspector. Yeah, so he's in the inspector right here, so you can see the difference there. And look, I've got it. So there is a bug. Easily replicated. Neat. I wonder if this happens on other objects. The lookup tables are one of those types of objects that just aren't really used that much. So that's how easy it is to create a stat, by the way. If you've ever wondered how easy it is to create a stat, that's how easy it is. And then it exists here. So that's not happening in the stat. So it's only happening in the lookout table is my guess. Do we have any conditions? We've got some test conditions here. Again, same thing. Okay, so it's lookup table specific, which it makes life easy. So there we go. Let's figure this out. So this is only in this view. We're not seeing it here. And these probably do have different UIDs. So this is probably just a simple bug is my guess. So this is going to be in the lookup table editor. Lookup table editor right here is my guess. That's usually what I would name it. By the way, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're new here, let me know. Because I get a lot of the same wonderful people coming back over and over. And I appreciate you the most. But I also appreciate the most the new people. And so if you're a new person here, let me know in the chat that you're new. And let me say hello to you. I'd appreciate that as well. All right, what do we got here going on? We got a lot of commented out code because I, do change things and make things better over time. So on enable, we have a lookup table target, and while we're doing this, I'm going to do the stat editor too. Stats editor or stat editor? Stat editor. Is this right? Okay. So let's open both of these up in one window, close off our AI. So I'm going to get rid of our old code. We don't need the old code now. So we got the same thing going on here. We have modules, objects. The stat drawer was the first one that I actually made in this system. I remember this. And then after I did it for a while, I realized I should just call it modules drawer. And so I'm going to change that now. No, it doesn't actually change the functioning of anything. So what we do here is we get our target, which is, this is an editor script. So it's gonna in the editor control how it shows up. So the target is the selected object basically. So it's a lookup table. Here's a stat. Modules drawers create instance of lookup tables drawer. Here's create instance of stats drawer. And here's a fun tip. Nobody seems to know whether it's supposed to be drawer, like I am a drawer, I draw things, or a drawer where you put things. I've asked that to very smart people, and they say, huh, I don't know. So that's interesting, right? I like to say it's a drawer. It draws things, but it's also someplace that you put things. So I just don't know. Let's see. We have this bool here that we don't have in the other one. Do we have this in other ones? Condition editor. Condition editor. We have our old code. We can delete that from here as well. We do have this bool. I wonder if this bool matters. And this says stat modification level drawer force cache true. But that is weird that it would be the same stat modification. Oh, because they both have stat modifications on them. That's why. So that's probably not needed for this. All right. So now we're going to look up table drawer and stat drawer separately. And we're going to look at there are let's see. So it's probably in another method where I actually print this out. So let's kind of dig into this. We should have a draw here. Yep, there we go. Draw link to docs, begin change check. Check UID if we're not drawn by the game modules window. That's this window down here. And check ID is modules UID, modules object duplicate ID, then initial setup equals false. Let's see. There are right here. All right, so this is where we're digging in. Count UIDs. Let's actually do the fixes I mentioned earlier. Parentheses there. I'm going to add the UID here, which is, what is the UID? It's this object at UID. Probably, yep. Let's just see what it looks like in our lookup table thing. By the way, if you have any questions on game modules, now's the time to ask, if you know what I mean. I might actually answer them. So these are different. There's only two objects, and they have different UIDs. So somehow this -1 is coming into play here. So let's figure out where count UIDs comes from. If it's over 1. That's weird. It's saying if it's over 1, then do this, but in our here it says it's -1. I'm gonna do a debug log, debug.log count. We're gonna do it differently. UID is UID and count UIDs is count UIDs. Let's see if these match or if we got something else going on here. All right, so it should come up. It's not coming up. Why is that? Why is that? Are we not in game modules drawer? Did this update? It did update. So why isn't it doing it here? Let's see. Oh, because I have to click this window probably. Let's see. Look up tables. Select this one. Try to get it to force. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Instead, over here, I went to the docs. Don't forget that I do make very wonderful documentation. So if you are using game modules, hopefully the documentation, all the tutorials will help you out. That's weird. I would have expected to show up because there should be no other reason for this to show. Let's just put a second one here. And it's not showing. That is strange indeed. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Why wouldn't it be showing? Okay, let's do a different tactic here. We're going to do... Well, we'll do a message box. How about that? With the same message. We're not going to change the message or shoot the messenger. And... Oops. Message type equals just info. And what's the deal? Do we not need this here? Yeah, that's that. That's the deal. All right, so maybe we can't do debugs from this script. Maybe that's the issue. All right. And do you see? I do not see the message box at all. Okay. Let's put it here then as well in this new row. Interesting. Now I'm confused. Now I'm confused because it should be showing up right here. Huh. Huh, 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 huh. Okay, well, let's try a different tactic. Where do we get count UIDs? Where does this come from? Cache count. Where's cache count happen? Right here in the show header. All right, if cache count, then we return. Does this ever get reset? Yes, we reset it when we click the create new UID. So let us do this. Debug.log. Resetting UID. Reset UID came from game module RC6. This object reset UID. That appears correct. And where does cache count happen again? Reset UID on the... Oh, there's all the game modules drawer. They all use the same drawer. Do they all use the same drawer? This is the common drawer for all of them. Okay. Okay. Well, where does cache UID happen again? This happens at the beginning, and it only if cache count equals false. And where do we set that to be false? Right after the UID. Okay. So let's see, debug.log test. I'm thinking for some reason that the debug logs don't come through here. But yeah, the debug logs don't come through on this script. This script is an editor script. I thought it would show a debug log, but apparently it doesn't. Okay, so we're gonna do start row. I'm gonna do the whole thing, label, test zone, and then we're going to do label. What we're gonna do UID is UID, semicolon, count as count UIDs. This really should show up, and it's not showing up. What is the deal? Am I losing my mind? Put a thing there to make sure this shows up. I might be losing my mind. And I may have just crashed Unity. Not on purpose, mind you. I would never do it on purpose. I would do it on accident. I have done it on accident. Many infinite loops times. Apparently, I'm the only participant in this stream right now. So, that's a thing. Does that mean I'm talking to myself? Might be talking to myself. Well, that's fine. I do that anyways. Alright, so if we go back to our damn lookup tables, which are very nice objects, by the way. Oh no, you're not. Huh. So I clicked this participants button and it says only me, but now it says Jason Storey. So maybe it's just takes I don't know. All right, so my little explanation did not come up here, so I'm not sure what the heck is going on here because oh, wait a minute. This is not the area I changed. Where did I change that then? Oh. Oh, there are two places. Why am I doing it in two places? There's probably a good reason. Check UID at the start, and then later we probably do it in the show header. Okay. So, interesting. This is why, you know, Story knows this, but if you do things twice, move it to a method and do it only once because of this is one of those exact reasons. So, we're going to say show multiple UID message. Thank you, AI, for typing it without typos for me. And so we're going to do that, but we need to pass in this object. So this object, and it's a module scriptable object, this object. All right, and then down here we'll do the same thing because there are multiple places that we put this. But we don't have this object here. What do we call it here? We must call it something different. We just call it this script. That's silly. This object. All right. I used to always call things script when I did that, but now I'm going to call it this object to be more explicit. All right. There are -1 objects. Now, okay. Let's figure out why there are -1. They're really, in Story, this is a conundrum that I'm facing here. So the error message, which I'm easily able to replicate, says there are -1 objects. And the error message, there are, right, you know, -1 objects with the UID. Here's the deal, though. We only show this, theory, if there are, oh. Here we go. There we go. If there are over one, no, that's, yeah. If we're only supposed to show this if there's only over one object. Let's see. Okay. But this one says over one. What does the other one say? Why does the other one show up? Check UID. Start row. If this is false, the value's false, I guess. Then we do a copy UID. All right, when does this come into play from all our drawers? Was the stat drawer pass in? This passes in the UID, the object, this object, and duplicate ID. And then let's look at the lookup tables drawer. Does the exact same thing. What is duplicate ID? Private bool. And it is, the code should be the same in both of these, or very similar at least. This duplicate, check objects types. When this is a different one, because this has the mastery level, so there's a little bit more going on there. This is this code, which off the top of my head, because it's probably dictionaries and other stuff, they're different objects, which is why they have different code in this case. This is a duplicate. Modules, object, modules, object UID. Okay, this is a duplicate on the drawer. Is count UIDs is greater than 1. Count UIDs, look up tables, Okay, I'm gonna assume that we don't actually have. Hello, Mark V. I'm going to assume that we don't actually have this coming back as over 1, because that is confusing to me. And what we know now is that one of these shows up when count IDs is greater than 1. The other one shows up when the value, well, we can ignore that. Start background, create new ID, and then it just shows up here. Right? So if we comment that out, then does that just solve the problem? It does, but we still have the create new UID button, which shouldn't be there. I don't think. Let me undo my change. Because if we go to our tests and our conditions, yeah, it's not showing up. So instead we get the copy UID. So somehow this is coming through. And so this is where we'll do our little test here. Debug.log, UID is UID, and count is count. And will it come through now? No, still no debug logs allowed here. Okay, I thought we could do a debug log, but we'll do something different. Instead, label. We'll just do a label of that. And it should show up. Oh, we're also not looking at the right object, so there's that. Duh. Okay, UID is that. Count is -1. All right, so the count is coming through as -1. When we reset UID, we don't reset the cached count after that one. So again, this is another opportunity for another method. Oh yeah, the editor, that's one of my biggest complaints from users, is one of my editor scripts is very slow. But if you close it, it's fast. So there's that. Create new UID. So it is resetting the UID, but the count is still -1. And cache count happens when we show the header, but we don't have the test zone ever happening. Why isn't the header being shown? How come only these come and show the header? I don't know. Is that old code? Could be old code. Yeah, look, that's old code. We don't even have header there. I bet the same is here. It's not even used. Okay, so that gets rid of that issue. And that cache count never actually comes into play. So, if we're never caching the count, then we'll never do the thing. So, count is 2. Count is 2. Now that's interesting. Count shouldn't be 2. So let's do count UIDs where the UIDs is that. I'm going to just let's just delete these and start from a new lookup table object. Test live. Testing. All right, test live. Interesting. It's counting 2. Why is it counting 2? There's no reasonable way that there's actually 2. But the lookup table count the objects where object UID equals UID. Apparently there's 2. Or less. I know you've been talking about the paginator for a while. Story. Rah, rah, rah. Okay, I'm kind of annoyed now, actually, because this makes no sense to me. The count is 2. I mean, we're creating brand new random strings, so the count should never be 2 for a random string. And this is just saying game modules objects of type lookup table. Well, I have all the types, really. Unless, are we doing this twice? There you go. Fucking shit, man. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You know what's funny is I actually did this at work in my day job earlier this week. That's probably why I just now thought of that, because I was doing a Google Sheet and I realized I was counting one survey results data twice. I'm going to make this a different color so it's more obvious. Oh my gosh. Done, son. I was just counting it twice. All right, so the issue was not an issue. All right, that one annoyed me. That one annoyed me, but found the issue was just counting them twice in the checker that checks number of UIDs. It wasn't a thing that would actually affect the project or objects, just a UI thing in the editor. Will be fixed in the next update, which will happen today. Later today. All right. Ha 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 ha. Well, I'm glad I found it, but you know, sometimes when you find a thing like that, it doesn't feel good. You know, it always feels good to find a bug, but that kind of bug just annoys me because it's just a silly thing. But let me go write I gotta write the notes in the log for what's going on. Packages, draft. I don't think there's a draft of this one right now. No. Game modules for, my God. Shaking my head. SMH. Create new draft. Yeah, now I'm going to have that song in my head from Christine Perry. is her name, I think. That she's only human. Release notes. 4.0.15 fixed a UI bug where lookup table UIDs were counted twice, showing an erroneous error indicating that there were -1 objects of that type, when in fact there were only one. General script fixes not affecting anything. All right, so there's that. Holy cow. What can you do? What can you do when you're a magic pig? Have you, by the way, have you noticed that I've been using the AI now for a year and a half to make icons for, or the screen things for the live streams, the logos, the images, the cover images. And these days I just do a pig in a wizard hat and I type in other stuff, and all of them are just pigs and wizard hats. Except for today's. Today I didn't have time, so I just used an old one that was just in the Photoshop file already. I may have used it years ago, but or a while ago. But how do you like that? Do you enjoy that? I enjoy the magical pig things, but they're all magic pigs, and I think that's fun. All right, what's the next thing on the list? Close tabs in group. All right. I took a sleeping pill last night. I think it was Unisom or something that my friend had gave me, because I decided I need to sleep because I need to rest up for GDC, and I've got birthday parties this weekend for my friends, and so I'm not going to get to sleep. But I decided last night was my last chance, so I want to sleep for at least 10 hours. So I took some, and I slept for 9 hours, then woke up, slept for another hour, woke up, and during the game dev show, I was groggy. Yeah. See, I like that I get to play with different art styles and themes. I'll tell you why a pig, because a couple years ago, actually more than a couple years ago now, I was thinking board games, they all these little pictures on them, right? The little symbols. And I was like, well, what's interesting and exciting and kind of like agnostic yet also like memorable? And I decided that Magic Pig Games was one of those, like, what? And then like this logo in the top right corner of the screen was actually drawn by a human. This was I paid a human to do that. I'm still using it. But I thought, like, this is a cool logo, a happy pig with a wizard hat. And the whole image, they have a robe and a wand. And she did typography and all that. But I decided that was going to be memorable. Magic Pig Games. It's memorable. It's unique. As far as I know, it doesn't exist yet. So I thought that would be more specific. Plus, it's agnostic. So if I make not fantasy games, then it still works in a way. So that's why Magic Pig Games. But I need to change my corporation name to that or something. But I hate doing corporate stuff. I had to do a whole petition of rights thing to the freaking California state because I had to pay $1,800 in taxes that I don't think I had to pay because I didn't realize that I needed to file something saying I wasn't paying anyone. I thought I only had to file something when I was paying someone, and then I wasn't paying anyone last year because last year was a shit year, so I stopped paying myself. And then since I didn't file the thing saying I wasn't paying anyone, they assumed I was paying somebody, just not telling them. So they now told me I owed $1,800, which I've now paid. But even just getting to their website, I had to like go through a weeks-long process to get a few numbers that I didn't have because I was using the service. Turns out the number was 0 because it was how much I paid. Anyways, it was very frustrating. So I had to write a whole official letter petitioning them to remove the tax, and we'll see what they say. They probably won't even say yes. But I hate business stuff is what I'm saying, is I don't like the business side of this shit. It's annoying. And it would be fine if I was making $1 million and could pay somebody to do it all for me, but far, far from there. So I have to do it myself, and it's annoying. All right. That's that. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right. Next thing on the list from the Discord. So this wonderful user was having this issue, and I saw this, and I apparently missed it or something. Oh, this is more new though, so maybe I didn't miss it. Let's see. I think it doesn't include any character controllers out of the box. Correct. But it will work with any character controller. Game modules 4 will. Currently, I have many items that are dictionaries for many custom variables. So I had to edit the dictionaries a lot. Yes, that makes sense. I found there are some inconvenience and problems. Sure. Had to change the dictionaries tab individually for each item. Okay, you need what he needs is a table. That's what he needs. You know what he really needs? Talked about the game show, dev show today. Do you know what he really needs? It's been on my list of things to do for a while. Maybe I don't know if I have time today, but maybe I'll start the process today. What do you think? Can guess what you need if you need to edit a whole lot of objects in a table. Like you've got a whole lot of objects. They all have the same list of keys, and you need to change the data in all those keys. So you have a list of keys this way and a bunch of objects this way, and you need to change the little values in each little cell. What do we need? Google Sheets integration. That's exactly what we need. 20 items that I just edited the stats of. Now you need to change the dictionary values. Click each. I agree. I actually completely agree with this. Too many steps to add one variable. To add an icon for my item, I need to click the add list type. So what he's really saying here, he needs the import needs to be able to let him add new types by adding a column in the Google Sheet. I need to click the add list type, then choose the sprite list in order to add a sprite, whereas normally I just need one click. I imagine this is quite hard to fix without changing the dictionary structure a lot. Yeah, so let me show you what he's talking about. For those of you who haven't used this part of the game modules, if we go to our object here, we have this dictionaries. In fact, I'm gonna show it here. So you can look at this is the same in both places. So you have the dictionaries, and if you look at the types, you can look at the dictionary structure. Each type of object. So there's if you make an export that splits out the data in CSV format, you can easily ingest that into anything like Sheets. It's true. Yes, it's the CSV format that we're going to be using for this. So you've got condition stats, all the other game module types, the big things. And then each one has types. So you can have, we could name this type buffs. We could name it conditions. How do we change the types? I think you just do it by this buffs example. We're going to call this debuffs example, and then other example. I think you just change the types there, and it should, yeah. Should have updated here, but it didn't. Changing the type names is not super common, and it doesn't. There we go. Just had to repaint it. So you can have different types. So you got buffs, debuffs, something else, and each one of those can have a different dictionary structure. Now, every item in that, every buff has to have the same dictionary structure. It doesn't have to have data in those structure, but they will all share the same structure. So if you click on that structure, he's basically saying sprite example. He's got to add this, add that to all buffs. Now you have to go back to your conditions, go to your buffs, and we can just search for buffs right here. So we have our two buffs, and now I have to open this up, go to my dictionaries, click we got our sprite example here. Now if I want to add a sprite, because you can add any of these objects, you would have to go to sprite, click add, and then you can, add your sprite here, and that's that. And apparently it's doing something. What was all that? And none of these are sprites. What just happened? What was that? This doesn't seem right. Because none of these are sprites now, but it added two more. Anyways, that seems to be a bug. I'm surprised nobody's reported that. I'm going to, for the moment, to assume that maybe it's my project that's got something going on, but I don't know, because I do so much testing in this that it's could be that. But technically, you have to add the sprite, um, and you could add multiple types. So if you wanted to add a sprite and a bool, you could do that. So you could have sprite example, can have a sprite and a bool, and you can have, as you see here, you can have many sprites. So you can choose a random one, you can choose a bool. Doubling, I'm doubling something apparently. Um, but so each one can have multiple things. So a Google Sheets export is going to be complicated because there isn't necessarily one thing attached to one thing. Not only that, but how do you put a sprite in the Google Sheet? You're going to have to use the sprite name of the file, which is not the easiest. It's not the same as numbers. So it's a little bit more complicated than the Jason Stories, Jason Wyman's example earlier in the game dev show, where it's just, oh, here's your stats. They're all numbers. They're all floats, or even ints. This is definitely more complicated, which is why I don't think I'm going to do it right now. So there's that. The other thing that could make this easier is, well, I actually don't know. I mean, is it right now? These are all separated. Like if I click settings here, this is unique to this. Is it that it would be easier if every time you clicked one of these, they all change? You could hold down shift click to make that happen, maybe. Let's see if that feels good. Because one of his issues is that, okay, you add that, and now you have to go every single one and add the thing. So it would be nice to have a table. And actually, I'll tell you a secret. Years and years ago, before I knew what I was doing, this is now 7 years ago, I was working on a very early version of game modules, stats. It was ultimately just stats, but for my RPG project, Legend of the Stones, which I'm still working on. And I had a table built in the editor that would show you a dump of all the information. So I think I'm going to build that too. So I think there's value in the exporter importer, but there's also value in showing the table here inside the editor, because why not? But also because the complexities with the dictionaries and how they can each cell in that spreadsheet can have multiple objects, I think it's going to be a lot easier for me to kind of make the editor version first, and then go to the export, because I don't know exactly the format. It's probably going to be semicolon, so comma, and then semicolons or something. I don't know exactly. There's going to have to be a multiple parser though, to make sure that, because the CSV is comma separated values, and then every field that has multiple values, and it's going to have to be semicolon separated, I suppose, or some other string, character or string, but semicolon is probably the one to go with. And then we have to deal with, like, what if there's a semicolon in the thing? So now you have to do the whole comma or I don't know the term, but you need to do like an apostrophe to show that, or a slash to show that, oh, this one is an actual semicolon, this one is not a delimiter, or whatever the word is. So it's going to be easier for me personally to do it in the editor first, is what I'm saying, and to build a table here. And it's going to be easier to not do the dictionaries first. It's going to be easier to do probably just the stats. So if we look at our stats, we only have the test stat. Well, let's delete this test stat and make some new one. Oh, yeah, if you delete the last one, it kind of freaks out a little bit. But that's not a huge issue, because that shouldn't normally happen, that you delete everything. So we're going to choose might, stamina, wisdom, going through the classics, accuracy, luck, or speed, luck. Okay, we'll do those. We'll call these test stats. We're going to create 6 of them. We've now created 6 stats. So we have this. This is interesting. We have a grid here, right? We have a grid that has, you can click these and you can see whether they're skills, whether they're a modifiable skill, whether they're a counter, based on these things. It's a stat if it's just modifiable but not trainable, then it's a stat. So all of these are stats because they're modifiable, they're not trainable. If you make them trainable, then they're a modifiable skill. So it's a skill that other things can modify the values of. If it's just trainable, then it's a skill. Does that make sense? It's true. All right. All right. All right. Fuck you, Jason. Jesus Christ. What the hell? By the way, Jason, were you very excited that an Irish person won the Best Actor award in America? Is that a thing? All right, out of fear, 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 fear. I get it. All right, let's fix this then. Let me you're right, by the way. You're right. I'm mad at you because you're right again. Most of the time, Jason Storey is right. All right, let's just delete all these then. How about that? And let's make this error again. Delete, delete, delete. Error. Undo object may not be null. That's one error. If module equals null, continue. There we go. There's that. Argument cannot be null. Fix that because that's null. You are pushing more than your... Okay, well, let's clear it out. Let's create a new one and see if that fixed it. Test, create, delete, and... All right, there we go. Bug 499. For each one, item object, if item object equals null, then we will... I want to be explicit this direction to say if it's null, continue, rather than go the other way. Why is this? Oh, because I need this now. There we go. All right, let's do it again. Killian Murphy, yes. Television sucks these days, by the way. I don't think I'm alone in this because my friend agrees, but you know. All right, no errors. Are you happy now? Then you click back and it comes back to this. All right, fixed it. Let me talk about my things. Fixed UI error. Fixed clearable errors that occurred when the game modules window was open and to a specific game modules object type, and user deletes all of those objects of that type. Why I've clicked save, I don't know. I'll click save there. All right, there we go. Might, magic, luck, health. Might, wisdom, health, and magic. Okay. Let's put armor too. Why not? Test stats. All right. So now we're back to our place. So we have a grid here, is what I'm saying. And this was very convenient because now you can easily say, okay, well, I know that armor is a stat, health is a stat, luck is a stat. These are all stats. And so I'm just going to select them all as stats. But what we don't have is, when we expand these, we don't have a grid for points and other things. And I was thinking about that. Should I make a grid for all those things? Because maybe. So, oh, wait, or do we? Oh, yeah, we do have grids for that. We have grids for a lot of things. Yeah, so I did make a bunch of them. So we have a grid for a lot of the different things you can modify on all these, but what we don't have one is for dictionaries, basically. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is tell this person it's going to be on my list. Let me take a better screenshot here. Because I think it's going to be more complicated because it's going to be on my list because I'm not going to do it right now. There's no way that I can do that during this live stream. All right. Upload a file. And now I'll read the rest of what their message was because I got sidetracked. For the management of the data, the objects do have this grid system, but it doesn't include dictionary values. I think it makes sense to add a more robust table option, but it'll be on my list as I don't have time to start it now before GDC. It's the kind of thing I'll want to start and finish before moving on. Okay, sprite list bug. For some reason, when I add a sprite in the sprite list, it will always add one more extra copy. Well, we just found that out. So I'll have two same sprites when I want to add one. And when I try to add a sprite inside the sprite sheet whose texture uses the multiple slicing mode, the sprite will not add properly. Ooh, that's interesting. Like when I do RPG icons texture into RPG icons 1, 2, those can add to the dictionary. Interesting. I want an icon sprite in a description field for every game module scriptable object. Yeah, I mean, that's common for things like items. Because of these things in the dictionary bug I mentioned, I remove all the dictionaries from my items and modify the item.cs to include my own custom variables. That's too bad. Should have used another method for that, perhaps. But generally speaking, never modify the original script. What is the recommended approach to shit like this? We have a lot of items with custom variables. I encountered the double sprite bug, and I'll dig into that now. But for sure, best is to never edit the original script, as it will be updated over time, and you'll lose your info. For now, I mean, they're basically trying to hook together their data object with our data object. Use the unique ID. You know, each game module object has the unique ID. You can check the game module's utilities class for many methods to get objects by the UID, etc. And the best way to make completely custom data connect with the game modules is to use your own class and include the UID of the game module objects that you're dealing with. For example, here's the method to get a list of all the item objects. And let's find that method. Get Is it get? Never gets used. Game module objects, 2 usage types. Where's my get? I know I use it. I just can't remember what the thing is. This .get. This is a get. Usage of get is not found, but that's for the lists, and that's not what we're really looking for. We're looking for the editors or the drawers. For each game module objects is game module objects item attribute recompute. Yeah, so let's give them this. Discord. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Item object, and we'll say then this goes to the method game module objects t bool recompute equals false on game modules utilities, and we'll give you all the objects of that type. Your script can then add new ones, remove any missing ones, and you can even create a custom editor if you want, like my own. But this means that now your script will know all the item objects, and using their UID, you'll be able to look up at runtime any information from your data class that relates to the game module objects of that same UID. Does that make sense? Thanks, Mark, if you're still here. No, I know. That's the things. Nobody's at that point yet, I think. There was one guy a while back, actually, who had sent some stuff. I think it was in the game modules 3 days. But his stuff looked pretty cool. Ooh, I'm getting cold all of a sudden for some reason. It's a warm day, too, by the way. We got a whole week of warm weather. 74 out. Why am I inside? Look at that. 74 degrees. Sunny. All right. Well. All right. So the point is that is now I need to look up this other bug. Okay. So we have our. Let's just see. Is our that's weird. Aren't we supposed to see the dictionaries here? I might have to dig into this a little bit more. We're looking at our conditions. Types. Dictionary structure shows this. How come this doesn't show up with the stats dictionary structure button? Well, that's odd. Right? Hello, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Hello. I was gonna say MacGyver because that's what my brain saw, but it's definitely not MacGyver. I don't know. You should learn. Just start making games. Learn to get a job as a game designer. Go on YouTube and look up game design tutorials, and start making games. So I don't know why the dictionary structure isn't working here. That seems like a more pressing problem than the other ones. Let's see. All right, so this is working. For item attributes is working. Item objects, types. All right, so it's apparently only stats. Stats is the only one where this button isn't doing shit. So let's dig into that first, because that seems like a more pressing issue. Where does this live? Now I need to remember where this lives. I need to put tooltips for myself down here that say where these scripts are. This isn't even the right application to look at scripts. This is going to be in drawer of some type. Type drawer. All right, let's start with game modules drawer. Changes here. Nope. Okay. No. All right. Where is it? Nope, just the projectile system at the moment. I try to only work on one new thing at a time because I will get less effective, I think. So I try to do only one at a time. What the F? Why? How can I look this up? When I look on my stats and I'm on types, let's go back. So the game modules. Stats manager types. All right, game module objects types. Search with those types. Draw a search box. Manage stats. So that's the search box up here. All right, manage types. Changes here affect all things. For each one, draw a type row. And the type row must be the thing that has dictionary structure. Draw dictionaries. And this is on Stats Manager. So let's now go to Conditions Manager. And put this down here. All right, so we got two side by side, and we are looking at draw dictionaries. What is the difference between these two? Is there any? Get show dictionaries type. Dictionary structure. They appear to be the same. So I'm going to add an exclamation there just to make sure I am looking at the right thing. I am. All right. Set show dictionaries type is not. So this is just the toggle. So this is going for the session state get bool stat search string type. So this could be the issue here. Get show dictionaries stat search string type. Whoops. Make sure these are exactly the same. They are. Okay. Get show dictionaries is going to be stats manager type row. Label type is type. Okay. Let's do this right. Type. Get show dictionaries is that. So it's true, it's false, true, false, true, false, true. Okay. That's fine. Start vertical box. Show row. Game modules. Type stats. Let's see. Show link to folder. Draw mastery levels and dictionary. Let's do a test. Label. Yeah. Label. Test. End row. And then start row. So this should show us a little test thing right here. And it does above that. Okay. Why is it showing above that? Oh, that's the link to folder right there. I see. Okay. Draw dictionaries, draw dictionary details, type if get show draw dictionaries, then we're ending the vertical box. Oh, this is just saying if we're showing dictionaries, then do a box. That's what this box is. Okay, that's fine. Draw dictionary details. Get show dictionaries type return. So let's see. We're going to do this. Is that and dollar bill sign. It's true. So it should be showing it. All right. All right. If it's not true, then we're returning. Otherwise, game modules object of type stat 0 draw structure. Okay. Debug.log. And we can't do the debug.log for some reason. So I'm going to do a label. Type is that length, just to make sure that we have stats of this type. Okay, we do. That's what expected. All right, so we should be getting the zero length, the first one of those. Dictionaries draw structure, dictionaries structure, dictionary drawer. Okay, draw structure. God damn it. One information. Here we go. All right. If class name is stat, then let's just do a quick test here. Debug.log, not debug.log. God damn it. Oops. Label. Stats. Dictionaries count of our new class or new class name. New class name is that. Object type is object type. I needed particles in my... The question is, what was the reason behind choosing to make the projectile system in particular? The answer is I needed projectiles in my game, and I realized I needed more types of projectiles, and I didn't want to just do one. I wanted to have a system in place that made it easy to do any number I wanted to do in the future, with the expectation that I will want lots of things later that I don't even think about now. That's why. All right, so it's not even getting to that code right there. Can I not do a debug log? Test. Draw structure. Label. Draw structure. Test how I can. Can do a debug log here. Okay, so we're doing that. So what's our class name? Let's find out. Is class name. Class name is stats. Boom. See, this actually shows you how few people are using game modules to this extent because nobody discovered that bug. Or maybe he did and I just didn't realize. Or maybe I changed it. Because somebody did mention, I think it was that user who mentioned there was an issue with this. And it also happened with stats, and maybe I changed stats to stats, so I may have caused that bug in one of the last updates. Anyways, okay. So that's working now. What did my friends say? Are they leaving? Oh my god, 3 hours, 34 minutes? My friends always come to visit me, and it's great. We're coming up to our other friend's birthday weekend. It's going to be very fun. But they always leave when there's traffic. And they're leaving this 2 p.m., but it's Friday, and they're leaving the San Francisco Bay Area. And there's only like 1, 2, 3, 4 ways out of the Bay Area. And so maybe 5. And so it's going to take them 3 hours and 35 minutes to get here, and maybe longer because, you know, traffic might increase. And if they just left earlier, worked from here or something, then they could have left earlier. But whatever, it's their choice. Their choice, not mine. All right, so that is fixed. I should write about it here. Fixed an issue where dictionaries on stat types were not showing up. Oops. See, this was where I fixed that, I think, and then I probably broke it at the same time. That's my guess. All right, so we have our dictionary. We're going to do a sprite test to set to all. All right, go to our stats. Look at any of them and say our dictionaries. It's going to add a sprite. Let's add a stat and see what happens when we add another stat. Okay, so that shows up perfectly because you're supposed to be able to add one here, and then it just shows up in the list, and you can just click a whole bunch. So that part's easy. That part works. If we add a sprite, and we add a sprite, and then we add one of these, then we get 2. Okay, so we can do that. Where did this debug come into play? I think I need to do more debug logs. Just an option to turn on debug logs so you can see the inner workings of the thing here. And that would help me a lot. So maybe I should add that. Let me see. Options. Let's do that real quick, because I think that's going to be very helpful to me, if for no other reason. Game modules, window, editor. Yep, that's just the window. Editor is this. Auto create. No. Options. Welcome. No. Nothing. There must be another one. Draw buttons. Introduction. Scripting. All these things. Introductions. Thank you for getting this. Scripting docs. Is this still being used? Infinity editor scriptable. That's different. Game modules window. This looks like the old version, doesn't it? It looks old. What did I call it then? Window, menu, game modules, menu. Editor window game modules. Maybe this, yeah. Maybe this. Options. Ah, okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Show options. All right. Start row, end row. We have show debug, show console messages in edit mode. And left check is going to be this whole thing. And this will, when true, the console will print messages as you edit objects, which will help pinpoint where in the code the operations are happening. Use this for debugging and sending me, the dev, info about what may be broken in Discord. Really, this is all for me. And the bool is going to be that. For editor prefs, default value is false. All right, now, where do we? So now we're just going to be looking for this pretty much. And all of our editor windows should be using game module utilities. So we should be able to say public bool show editor console or void send console message, string message. So if not that, then return, otherwise debug log message. This has to be static. Let me ask the AI something. So one thing that annoys me about doing this is the last thing you click. Yep. Yep, exactly. It's weird. Yes, Jihad, that's exactly what I do. Every single thing I've made is something I've wanted in one of my games or one of my projects, or I thought I would want. Every single thing. Not a single thing has not been. And I don't make stuff if it already exists. So you don't see me making trees because I like the trees that exist already, right? You wouldn't have seen game modules if I had found another tool on the asset store that does what I want to do for my game. But I didn't find any that were flexible enough. And so I made my own. That's what I do. We're going to ask... I'm going to use this to send messages to the console, but each time I do, the last clickable line is always this line. Is there a way to ensure that there is a clickable link in the console that is the second to last line, which called this rather than this line, if that makes sense? Oh, it is. You can add a method around your debug log call that will appear in the console stack trace instead. Make current function the second to last line in the stack trace. Will it? All right, let's copy this over and see how it works. So it's saying log message message. No. No, I want the message that calls, or the line that calls send console message to be the first. Bumping the stack trace. This involves throwing and catching an exception so that the call stack is populated correctly, and then logging that exception. Here's how you can modify it. Really? All right, we're going to have to dig into this. Try throwing a new exception message. Otherwise, catch that error exception. Interesting. Okay, well, let's just give it a try. And we're going to start early. Start often. Game modules window editor. What do we call it? We call it show console. Okay. All right, so we're going to do a test here. Bool showing console messages. All right, and then if showing console messages is not our new one, then and is not equal that. Wait a minute, I'm getting confused here. It's just send console. Why is it suggesting I make this a thing? Test. Oh, because of that, probably. Okay, so we're gonna say So if we are, well, for this one, either way, debugged or not debug. I'm gonna have to remember the send console message is going to be showing console messages option is now that. All right, let's just see what it looks like. Exception showing cost is now false. Nope, it's still no. Nope, the last clickable line was to the exception itself. What AI? Well, this one is the writer AI, but I use multiple AIs because sometimes one's better than the other, and they're all valuable. Console's clickable stack trace. Always the first line you code. There's currently no built-in way to change that behavior. This is done to make things easier to debug. I know. If you want to call, but you can create a workaround through though it requires creating an additional custom class to hold the calling method information. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that, so we're going to undo, and say, suck it up, Andrew. Accept the fact that the second line will be the right one. Showing message is now false. And then you get that. And we're going to say, hey, did you think you'd find another line? Well, click the second link in the stack trace, as that's the line that you're probably looking for. There you go. So now if somebody does that, they'll be like, oh, I see now. What we're going to do though is, this isn't happening. This is weird. It should be now true. See, I just did it myself. That's why I didn't want to do that. Is it possible to change the color of the second line of the stack trace? How about that? If we're showing console messages, or if showing cache value showing console messages is not equal to the current one, send the message showing the current one. Ah, we were doing the wrong one. All right. Do you see I keep copying something with magic words though, so we need to fix that. Change the color of fixed lines is not natively supported. Rendering colored text. Okay. We're not going to do all that, but what we are going to do, we're going to do two things. One, we're going to do this, and we're going to do another thing, and then we're going to do message, and then so we're going to do this message, color equals blue. Click second stack trace for location. We'll try that. And you know what? Let's make it magenta. And then the other thing I want to do is so magic strings, right? I think that's the term. I've got this magic string over and over and over and over again. I've got get bool, and error prefs. And so originally I was just doing it once, so no big deal. But what we're going to do instead is do this. We're going to say private bool show console messages is going to be that. So now in all of these places we can just, oops, call this, call this, call this, call this. There we go. So now if we ever change the message, we can only change it one place. In fact, here's another issue. We have the set bool right here. And so the most ideal thing will be this private string set console string equals that. And that way we only have one location where we have that string. So we only have to change it here, and it's changed everywhere else. And actually, since we're using the utilities, set console string. It can be made read-only. Should I just move this to utilities? I guess where's its best place to live is probably here is fine. But I'm going to put it on top of the method, and then we're going to do the others as well while we're here. Or not, just a note to, I'm going to just do a note. March 15, 2024. Do the others if you want, no big deal. Because it really isn't that big of a deal here. It is best practice to, I guess, move those out, right? But it's not that big of a deal. It's not an issue. It would be an issue with this one because I was doing so much. Although, to be fair, I am about to do that to all these, so maybe we will. Let's see. And actually, we're doing this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, right? So this should actually be its own little thing. So private void show option, and let's figure out what kind of stuff we need to put in here. And we will do, we're going to need a string label, a string tooltip, and this is going to be our label. This is going to be our tooltip. We need the $$ there. And this is going to be agnostic no, so cache value. And we need our magic string. So string prefs key, pref string, and or we can do a ref for that instead. Ref bool prefs value. Let's do that. I think that will work. So cache value is going to be prefs value. If it does not equal prefs value, then says now prefs value. Show console messages. So that's the pref value. Set string. So we need a pref string. And that should be it to make it agnostic. Let's find out. Show option. And we need to pass in this. And pass in this. And pass in this. And show console messages. I don't know if that will work because that has no setter. Right. So tell the AI this needs a getter and setter, same logic. So basically we're going to set the bool or get the bool. That's all. All right, so if we're getting it, we're going to return that. Otherwise, we're going to set that. And now show console messages. It still doesn't work. Argument is value while is as a ref. Okay, let's see. In this code, I'm trying to pass the show console messages as a ref. How can I do that? I don't actually use refs often. I think I've done it twice in my life. Oh, I can't do that? Oh. I guess I could do that. That's a lot more code, though. I don't like it. I don't like it. All right, then what we're going to do is not do it. We're going to pass the current one, and then we're going to return the new one. So now press value. Nope, is now let's see. We have our pref string, cache value, passing the value, and then we're saying the value, pref string, label. So here we're just going to do set bool to that, I think. Oh, we need set bool that to that. What did I just do? Didn't copy it. All right, set that. Oops. All right. I'm over-engineering this, by the way. I think. Because I'm not going to be adding that many more options. So it's like, but that's okay. Show option, start row. It's good practice. Cache value equals the... That's not right. Pref value. Oh, yeah, pref value. And then pref set bool, pref string. Nope, we don't need to do that anymore. We're not saying the bool here at all. Because we set it down here. And we need to get the value again. Our new value equals that. And this is going to be pref string. If it doesn't equal the new value, then we are doing that. And we don't return anything. And let's see if it works. Hello. I am updating this button right here, just seeing if it works. And it does seem to work. I'm going to make this like this. Okay, do that, new line. All right, so yeah, I'm updating the debug log messages. There you go. But we also need it to be, oh, I'm still doing the opposite, aren't I? See, that's why I put this message here, because to remind myself to click on the second stack trace. Set bool, left check, pref string, new value, that's why. It was the same thing I did before, really, but that's okay. All right. Should only happen when it sets true. Yes, okay. So now that it's true, we can do the same logic to the other ones. It's not like it's much less code drastically, but it's, you know, is less code. So load at startup and the tooltip and the string is going to be private string load game modules load window at startup string. That's a different one. Yeah, that's a different one. What else do we have here? So we have the auto create and show dictionaries, auto create properties string, and show dictionaries migration string. All right. So now these strings live in only one place. Their tooltips don't live. Well, they still live in only one place too, I guess. So we show option for this, show option for this, show option for this. And then we need these three as well. Show dictionaries migration, show auto create properties, and show window at load or startup. All right. Let's see if this all works. I think this was over-engineered for sure. All right, so we've got those magical things up there. Now we got these down here. We can then comment out all of these except for the last one and see if they work. So now we have messages turned on. So now we are getting that. We aren't getting the extra bit though. So they are working, except this one's not working now. These are separated. How come they are separated? Oh, did I not do... I didn't copy these properly. What's going on? Ah. You know what? It's a little more over-engineering, but why does that happen twice? It's my fault. It's human error. All right. So these should be the same as these. Shouldn't they be? What did I just do? I just messed up. And this one is the one that I should have copied over. They were in the wrong order. Okay. So now the only special thing is the tooltip there. Auto show console messages, auto create properties. Show that. All right, and I am going to auto create properties is true by default. And this is going to be false by default. Okay. All right, so that should be working now. Tooltips. Yep. All right, there you go. So, is that better? I mean, yeah. It means there's less places for things to break. I could have an array. I could have a whole. Yeah, this is fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, so that's fine. It works. It's cleaner in many ways. It's, we're doing just one method here to show the options. Yeah, but that's it. And so now the thing is, I'm not going to have this to everything. Oh, it's in the next line. I see. So maybe we'll do this. because I do want this to be pretty obvious when you click this. I guess it shows it in the next line there. So yeah, that is actually fine. So undo. It was fine because I want this to be visible. Click second stack trace for location. And then you go there and you see that and you'll be like, oh, this is where that gets called. I see. All right. The whole reason for that is because I don't know at all where this double thing is happening. I need to figure that out. So I am going to put here a note, March 15, 2024. I just added this feature. It will be added in the code in time, but today I won't be adding these calls throughout the code, so that'll be before it gets used heavily. And yeah, it will be used there, but that's, I don't know what you're talking about, AI. All right. So this is happening when you go to add a new sprite. Dictionaries drawer editor, sprite, show add new value, background color is yellow. That's not what we're trying to do. Show key value list, background color if, button type name. Let's put an exclamation there and see if we get an exclamation. I want one right there. We do, good. So this is that point. If you click that, then you toggle on showing the values. Indeed. And then show add new value. Oh, so is that? Oh yeah, the background's slightly yellow. All right. Handle the basics. If it's sprite, new object equals object sprite field width. If new object is not null, so show console. What was it? I already forgot. Send console message. Let's just change this to console or debug console message. So type of new type name added and it would be, I guess we do have new object in theory, but doesn't know that it has a name because it's just an object. Let's see, what if we just do that? Check mark, Unity Engine Sprite. But see, it's not even showing up there, so that's, there's something's wonky. All right, well that part worked, so that's nice. And then let's do the handle basics really quick. Whoops, wrong. Dot value. Can't get the last. Oh, Objects last dot value, or just objects last, I guess. All right, so that should give us that for that. These other ones as well. Maybe it will work. Let's just test one out. For our stats, let's add an int, key value list, name, type name int. This is neat, but let's add our actual thing. New type added, and I think that should be fine. Total types is that, sure. New float type added, total types 4. New bold, okay, that's fun. We'll add those later. Add value. New int added. That's fine. All right, so that part worked. And this part is the thing that's not. We added a knob. See, I did it myself. Click the second one. All right, we add a knob. And we'll reset the colors. That's it. Okay, the add value happens here. If value is null, return. So debug.log is value null. Let's just quickly see, make sure it is getting passed through. Always famous last words. I have many of them. Let's just clean this up so it's more clear. Is value false? Okay, so it's not false. Modules value equals value as module scriptable object. If it's not equal to null, then we're adding a values object or a game modules object. And otherwise, if we're in the ensure object is in object reference, we'll have to check on that, and then debug.log adding new value, UID value, object. Let me check something. Let me just check another. Let's try texture 2D add. Oh, same issue. Okay. But this time it did add it, but it added 2. So the bug is really with all this part. It's somehow adding it twice. So debug.log adding a modules object, and debug.log adding a non-modules object. We'll print out the type. Type of that. Okay. Let's see if we can get that to tell us twice. Nope, we can't make it tell us twice. Okay. Oh, that's right. No, we didn't make it twice. All right. So it might be doing it somewhere else, I guess. Okay. Ensure object is in the reference. Debug.log ensuring objects in reference type of T to string value dot name. I can't do dot name, but that's okay. Value as object, and then path to that. Get the GUID of that, If index is less than 0, then we're adding it. Index is index. Okay. Otherwise, we are updating it. Add to object reference. The value. Ensure object is in object reference. Objects. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, and this is just setting. Objects add. There we go. So we're adding it twice. Okay, so this is object reference holds non-serializable references via the object's GUID. We need to make sure they exist in the object reference or things break. All right. So this is the issue, is that we are adding it twice, or something twice, because we add it in ensure we add it, and there we add it. But the question is, so if it's a module object type, then we add it there, no big deal. So this is all other things. And so I suppose what we're really saying is, if the GUID is already there, if it's not there, add it. Otherwise, do that. The index is always okay. Ensuring. Okay, I think there's a couple of things to fix here. First, we're not checking to see. Oh, interesting. Okay, so So we do want this to happen outside of the editor. This is something that can happen at runtime. You can add objects to dictionaries. So I think what we need to do is make this a bool. Let's try that. If we are able to add it, then return out, because we added it there. Or just return. Maybe it's just return. Maybe it's not a bool. Maybe we just say return. And then let me just ask the AI. At runtime, the return inside the Unity editor bit won't be called, right? Almost positive, but I just want to correct. Okay, yeah. All right, so if it's runtime, then we're going to do this and return, or it's edit time, we're going to do that, then return. Otherwise, at runtime, we will do that. Now, we might get confused. This will run in play mode. The Unity editor define will not be present. All right. At runtime. Do we have to say and is not play mode? I don't know. Let me do one thing at a time here. Oh, I guess we oh yeah, we don't return. Yeah, either way we should return out this. Never mind. All right. So now the add should only happen here. But what if the object is already in our reference? Do we check for that? Ensuring this type is in the reference. So debug console message index is being updated to a new object of type of T with GUID GUID. And then value. And here we will say object list is being added to with a new object will add a new object of type that with GUID that. But I think this is where we need to check to see if it already exists. Let's find out. I think we fixed the double issue here. Okay, so we fixed the double issue. Okay, so we're not getting the GUID for some reason. But we are getting the GUID here, and then we're getting this error, which happens because we're trying to set stuff up, I guess. I suppose we need, maybe exit GUI will work there. Let's see. See, this code's coming in handy already. Because now I can go back here and be like, show, add new value. Yeah, so we're going to say exit GUI right here. And the handle basics. If handle basics return exit GUI. All right. That last line didn't matter, actually, by the way. All right, let's see if we can get that error again. All right, so that fixed that error. It still has a blip, though. It didn't fix that error. Why didn't it fix that error? It redraws itself, but that's the issue. It's redrawing, and I don't want it to redraw. Should be exiting the GUI and not redrawing. Argument exception, gain control 5 spaces in group where 5 doing repaint. Don't know how to fix this. Let's see. The last bit of my code is right here. 204. What are we doing then? Let's say debug.log label. Is that, what is that? All right. Let's see what it says. Oh, gosh. Okay. Well, we'll find the error and then go from there. Oh, where's the error? Will we see red? There it was. It's the X button with 25. It's not. All right, that's not helpful. No, it just redraws every frame. The exit GUI just basically says stop drawing. So if you do change a list, it's good to call the exit GUI because it will just stop drawing that frame, but the next frame instantly happens and it will draw it correctly. So that's why what we're actually seeing here is when I add one, we see a little blip. Well, the other one we saw a blip. That's weird. It doesn't happen when we do the first one, but when we do a second one or a third one now it happens. But you kind of see a blip, that blip there, and then it redraws. This issue, this has happened for a while. I just don't really know really how to fix it. It's basically, I think the issue is that in this case, it's trying to grab this from the object reference. It's doing some additional stuff in the same frame. So maybe, okay, show object field. If it's a sprite texture ID, this might be a good thing to look at for the sprite too. But so this is the code. If the value object is not equal to null, then it will show the asset preview. Otherwise, what does it do? Let's see. So we get our object. It's not null. So it's going to show the asset preview. And it's going to scale the texture. And it's going to do this box. Scaled texture does not equal to null. Show the box. And then value new. Set object. Okay, maybe it's this bit here. Maybe if we say exit GUI here. Because it's trying to set the object. Because remember, the actual dictionary just has a GUID. So it now needs to figure out what that object is for the editor to actually display it. See? And again, that but I think the issue is if we do the same thing twice, it won't happen. That's my guess. Yeah. So it's only the first time that you select a thing. Otherwise, it's gonna look for it, look to create it in the thing. But yeah. So somewhere it's doing that thing, and this is where my debug stuff would have helped. But again, the fear of errors is real. Jason's right, but it doesn't actually change anything in the scheme of things. But this is the issue, though, that this is a GUID of 0. So let's do a debug.log. Path is path. Figure out what the deal is there. Oh. So that's probably maybe because these are like built-in sprites. Let me add a test sprite here. Create folder, test sprites. Reveal in Finder. New. I'm going to search for, what would I just do? Find, search for any image. .jpeg, .png. Probably have a lot of PNGs on this computer. PNG. File is PNG. It's taking forever. It is. Searching. I feel like I'm gonna find one faster. Asset store work. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to bring this into my test sprites. We're going to make this a sprite. Apply. All right, then we can go to our sprites here. There we go. So the issue with that not showing up is that I was choosing a sprite that's like a built-in sprite in I guess in the resources. This Unity built-in extra. I don't know what that is, but what we're gonna do is through a bug here. So I'm gonna say if path.contains Unity built in extra. Oh wow, look, somebody's probably already done this. Because the AI is doing that. But we're gonna do a little debug.log warning. You probably selected a built-in universe not allowed. Please select a resource from your project, and then we will return out of this. All right, so that will be better. Okay. Now, do we need to check to see if it already exists? I believe so. Let me... all right, key value object with the UID value is good. Object type is that. So we've got the GUID. If the index is 0, find out if the objects are already in the list. Where is our list? Key value objects. If objects.any x dot UID equals GUID or index of. Let me see. What's the right code for this? Oh, there we go. For each var I, okay, I guess we do that. If UID equals GUID, then let's invert this. No, we're not quite going to do that, but we're going to do instead this. Our exists list. Oh, I guess it already exists, so yeah, we can return. So we are going to do that. Wait. Are we going to do that? Let's see. Because it already added to object reference, we don't need to add it again. Oh, but you know what? We might want to add multiple ones. So never mind. I realize now why that's allowed. It's allowed because you might want to list with like 5 sprites, 4 of them being the same and 1 being different. And so you can do an automatic like 20% chance of this type of thing. So in this case, we're perfectly fine with multiples. But this is the part where perhaps we need to say exit GUI. Add if we contain return, otherwise we do that, and then we exit GUI. No, Actually, let's do this differently. Okay. So what we will do is where we're working right here. Yes. All right. So we're going to cache. We're going to say var is in object reference equals object reference dot get does not equal null. If not is in object reference, then we will do this and we will exit GUI. How come I can't exit GUI here? I can't exit GUI here. Shit. Okay, you know what? Let's just exit GUI anyways. Right? God damn it. Where is my editor script for this? It is key value list. The drawer, it's these ones. All right. There we go. But we do exit GUI right afterwards. So I don't know what the deal is. So I'm not sure how to fix that. It only happens once though. All right. What was the other issue? Let's go back. The double thing will be fixed. Double add issue is fixed. Please let me know if you find any other issues for the will be updated later. The other thing he said was slicing mode. Okay. So let's slice it and dice it and see what happens. Where is our slicing mode? Multiple? Ugh. All right, let's just see if we can recreate the bug without doing all that. Oh, now it doesn't show up. It's not listed as a sprite then. All right, I guess we have to add the package. Apply. So what we need 2D sprite package from package manager. It should just have a button that says up install it. Unity registry. What was it called again? See, I can't remember. 2D sprite. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget, Game Modules 4, what we're working on right now, making updates too, because it's very well supported, is 60% off right now. 2D Sprite. You can get on the asset store. You should go to infinitypbr.com and click on the See All Assets button right here, infinitypbr.com. Click this button. That's my affiliate link. That means I get a little extra cut, and all of that comes back into doing what we're doing now. So come here, click this. It says 80 right there for some reason. I think just this one page is broken, but it's really only 32 for another 16 hours and 44 minutes. So that's a thing. Install this. All right, now sprite editor. Let's, how do we do this again? It's been a while. We're gonna slice it. How do we move our, there we go. We're gonna slice it like this. Okay, apply. So what is this type now? Oh, that seems to work. It just doesn't show the preview. Or is this different? Is he talking about something different? Now it shows the preview. From the context of the question, it sounds like there's one sprite sheet that has multiple icons on it, and is there a way to export? I would expect them to show up in this list down here. That's what I was expecting would happen as I did this, unless let's see. Unity multiple sprite mode. Sprite editor. I'm slicing this slice. Is alternate option determined? Where's all this? No, that's not. He did say multiple anyways. Oh, is it because it's automatic? Let's see. Automatic. Center. Delete existing. Smart. Slice. Apply. What am I missing here? I'm trying to get this output. Slice type grid by cell size. Slice type grid by cell size. Pixel size is going to be 8 by 8. Whoops. 8 by 8. Okay, I'll make it a little bit bigger. 32 by 32. All right, we'll make it even bigger. 64 by 64. That's better. All right, 64 by 64. Slice. Apply. Now, can we throw these? Okay, so I was able to drag these over. I'm gonna have to put an arrow directly into there. This line is too thin. The question is, can we add? Yeah, we can add these. So it does seem like we can add those. So let's see. I'll have to update them. I was able to get sliced sprites in both through the add method and by just replacing these sprites. This is the result. Can you check? I think this is what you were referring to. I think it was. All right. All right. So that's all that. What's this? Condition dictionary? This one's been confused. Okay, he's got a video. The text might not have shown the problem clearly. This video demonstrates the problem. First, I open the project. I generate A7. You can see in the console, new object type was blank. Then I generate a new object type C, which is displayed correctly. Hold on. Let's download this. Let's download that and just watch it in our own way. Okay. So, what do we see here? We see a desktop. Action, probably record. Okay. We're recording now. Clear the console. Types. So we have A and B types already. Dictionary structure, each of those. Okay, we're creating A7, create that, and it should be A7 is created. So his thing is that his slashes are reversed. I have a feeling this is like a system thing or something. Because I don't think mine say that. Let's do a thing. So he's in conditions. Just in case it's conditions, we're going to try to do the same thing. Create new type A test 1. See, mine are backwards, right? So I don't know why his are backwards. This is I'm guessing it's a computer thing. Is he on a Linux or something, or Final destination. Final destination. See? It's just the slashes are all backwards. Why would that be? Let me ask the AI. We'll ask the AI. A user of this tool is reporting that the path returned has slashes going the wrong way. It should be like this slash that slash another. And he gets, or they get really, this slash that slash another. Why might this be? Because I don't know. Interesting. I've never heard of this issue before. Have you? I'm surprised at. I would think that if we're using the paths, it would just automatically work because his system would be looking for the other slash. But and again, I don't think only Mac users have used this tool. Like, it would be very surprising if only Mac users have used this tool, or if nobody's ever created any objects, because that's impossible, of course. Okay, I don't. What do you mean? Stupid heart. I can't see what you actually said because I have this button over. Oh, now the whole chat just disappeared. What? Now I have to log in? Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Where is my own stream? Use the environment methods. What are the environment methods? What are the environment? What the heck? What are the environment methods? This environment methods thing you talk about. Okay. Let me fix this screen. Now I can see chat. Okay. What are the environment methods? Go back to this video. But see, we have A7, so it's saved properly. Okay, I see that C now says C, but let's see the objects. I want to see the objects. It said C, but did it actually put it in C? Because the types are all here. That's what I'm looking for. At the end, after this says new object of type C, does it actually get put in C? So there's A, and I'm going to explain it here, and we can see if we can replicate this. Create a new type. We're going to call this C and C1. Create that new type, and then we'll go to create A2. See, so we have, this is a long screenshot, but we have the C. So I think this is a UI bug, not a bug. And the key here is, oops, this. Okay, so I think this is only an issue in the console message. After the message says it's, oh, wait a minute, is he saying something else? So there is language barrier here, by the way. Let me see something, because he was also mentioning dictionaries. Let me just test something. So if we go to our types, we're going to make a dictionary structure on A. Sprite example, add to A. So A has that, C does not. In fact, we're going to say C example. We're going to add to all C. So now A has sprite example, and we're going to call this A example. And C has that. Now, if we go to our conditions, we see that A has A example. And if we check out C, then we see that C has C example. So if we create a new one of A, A3, when we get to A3, it has nothing. That's what he's getting at. Okay. Okay, so it wasn't this that he was saying. He was saying because of this, it's not getting the dictionaries as it's supposed to. A4. All right, so this is saying new object type is new object type. All right, let's look into our code. Button create of type name. All right, conditions create, condition type, create that number of type A. If we can create new object type. New object type index. Okay, here we are. Condition type. That's this, the header. This is this. Ah, okay, so new object type is getting a text field, which only shows up when you have this selected. and defaults to choose new type. If the index of what we've chosen is less than the length, meaning it's not a new one. Otherwise, if the string is null or white space of new object type, then type name equals that. So we're going to do this here, debug.log, just to test. Type name is type name. Let's just see what we get. I think I know what's going on already, but type name is A, new type name is C. All right, do you see what's going on? I think I see what's going on, but let's go through it still. So if it's allowed, type name. All right, so if we can create means the name's allowed and names in array is greater than 0 and string type name is not null or white space and the type index, wait. Oh, so, and both of these are true. Okay, so this is saying if we're doing a new object, or a new type rather, because this index will be 1 higher than the maximum index in the length of existing ones, that means it's a new one. And the string is not null or empty, then we can create. Okay, so that was a good check there. Then you do our colors. So if is existing type is if we're less than the length, that means it's an existing type. If we're not an existing type and we're not that, then is existing type equals contains new object type. Debug log, new object type is that. Oh, but I see the variable value. Okay. There we go. Okay. Okay. What did I just type? And index of new object type. Okay. Let's see if that fixes it. All right. Conditions A5 of type A. Still doesn't have the dictionary, so that's a different bug. Okay, so we got that. We do have dictionaries in A, right? Add all to A. A example does exist. Okay, so it's getting it there. It's just not getting it when we create the object for some reason. Okay. Well, it should be. So let's find out why it's not. Can create. If we click the button and we can create. Where's the actual creation? Create assets. Right here. All right. Create the dictionaries, including the new type that is being created. All right, let's see. Debug.log. Well, actually, we can do the debug console message here. Creating an asset at location is saved with type name that and object index that and new object array that. Okay. Let's make sure that our create new type is still something different. Okay. A6. Creating a new asset at A with type A, object type into 0, and new object name array string. I don't know what that means. That's not really needed there, I suppose. All right, so that is fine. It appears to be fine. Create the directories. Create each stat. Skip that are already existing. Finish up. All right, create assets, create asset. We don't add the dictionaries here. We don't even try to add the dictionaries here. That's interesting. Is that just a massive oversight on my part? Let's see. Stat dictionary. Add to all stats. Create test. Test set. Dictionaries. No, it adds it here. Well, that's weird. Okay. So we create the assets. This is where we actually create the asset itself. We recompute the objects in our utilities. That's not where we add the... I don't think it is. Oh, it is. Is there a back button here? There is. And copy any dictionaries required. All right, so game module objects T recompute true. Okay. Where do we do the dictionaries? If we aren't recomputing, we found the dictionary key, then return the value. Oh, no, this might not be it. If the array of objects, all other objects require this. No, this isn't it. Sorry, everybody. It's weird because it adds it for the stats, but doesn't add it for the condition. And This stats manager can create. Let me see. Where's conditions manager? These are very different can creates, aren't they? Why are these so different? Weird. It looks like I have some code here to do something to keep them all aligned. And that's the only real difference here. And this one uses this type's manager cache. This type equals stat. Can create. Interesting. This one's plural, that one's plural. What if we do this? A7. Nope, that didn't solve it. This is different too. Game module object type stat. I see. This one's also different. Why is this one different? I never finished it, Detective 99. I got bored. I got bored with that one. I got bored with it. But maybe I'll go back once the projectiles is done, and it will be a demo game that has both of them. Because that tower defense would do really well with projectiles, don't you think? So maybe I'll go back to it. I got bored. Forget why. But I got bored. Sorry. I did think about that every once in a while. All right. These are different, though. Game module object types to list index of cache game module object. These, why are these all different? Why are they all different? Item objects. Delete. I thought I fixed that bug. Veggie. Okay, hold on. Types. Lookup table. Add to all fruit. Create. Test. Create. Look. Dictionaries. Lookup table. So this one works. All right. Where is item attributes? Manager. And if button create. What does this one do? Custom stuff. This one does down here cache. This one does game module object types. Let's see if game item attributes. We can replicate this. Types is color. Create. Dictionaries, structure, test, add to all color, create purple, and test. Then purple test has dictionaries, test. Okay, well, I was hoping that some of these differences, which I really don't know why they exist, was the cause of this, but does not appear to be the case. All right, so let's look somewhere else. Maybe it's in the display of this that it happens. Maybe I should take it off the page. That's a good idea. All right, let me look. I want to solve this one before I sign off. And I want to sign off. All right, this is dictionaries, show dictionary structure, draw dictionaries. That's here. Manage types, manage objects, draw search box, draw results. Show on. Go. Show dictionaries. Show dictionary. All right, I'm gonna sign off. It's warm out and I need to take a break. Wyman, I see you there. Sorry, I didn't see you there earlier. I've got a bug where dictionaries are copied over properly for everything except for conditions. When I add a new condition, the dictionaries and the other ones that exist already aren't copied over. The problem is that I don't know where in the code I actually do that check. So earlier I added this bit of code where you can turn on a debug option to actually have messages. And I'm going to add that to various parts of the code, which would have been nice if I had done that before. Then I'd know where various things were happening, important things happened. But in this case, I don't know. So I've just been trying to go through the process, and it's been a thing. But it's warm out, and it's 4 o'clock, and I don't want to miss that. So I'm going to go and take a break and go outside in the 76-degree weather. So there you go. Thanks for hanging out. Well, I mean, I will see you at GDC. Everybody else, maybe I'll see you at GDC if you're going. But yeah, don't forget game modules. What I've been working on. It's supported. I keep making it updated. And buy it. It's 6% off right now. All right, thanks. Bye, everybody.